Yo, what's up, everybody? It is Tuesday, January 28th. A lot of news coming in fast and furious, very changing all the time, in state of flux. So today, first of all, market bounced back. Everybody a little bit cooler heads. Today, NVIDIA was up. Hearing some different, commentary on that, a different perspective. This is why I always say, you got to be careful with these emotional reactions in the markets. When people are highly emotional, it creates opportunity. All right, they're not making their best decisions when they're highly emotional. Yesterday on my video, I said, look, I'm an economist. I'm not an AI expert. All I can do is read the news and try to get the different points of view and try to assimilate all that and make sense out of it. There were definitely two sides to that argument yesterday and even early today about how it's going to be bad for NVIDIA, how it's going to be good for NVIDIA, blah, blah, blah. But yesterday I said, look, I got to stick to my core analytical framework, which is the fiscal flows. And I said, they're still strong. They're still strong. And I can't get negative on the market when they're still strong. Now, something popped up today. Maybe some of you have heard about this or are familiar with it, that Trump came out suddenly today and said he wanted a freeze on all spending that was going to grants and aid programs and things of that nature, and loans. He wanted a freeze on that spending. So that was hit the panic button once again, not in the markets necessarily, but yeah, I started to, follow that news report and was wondering, well, if this goes in effect, and it was supposed to go into effect by 5 p.m. this evening, what kind of an impact is that going to have on the fiscal flows? Obviously, if spending, and these are narrow spending items. This is not your big five that I call, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, defense, and interest payments. But nevertheless, a spending slowdown right now, because, we're looking at like a 3% growth rate. It wouldn't take much of a spending slowdown to bring us down, in the 1-ish percent GDP growth rate. So it could be consequential. So I sent out an email to my subscribers saying, we gotta keep an eye on this. A federal judge blocked the order this afternoon. So the order will be stayed or blocked until February 3rd, which is Monday. Okay? So it's a temporary block on this order. Monday, they'll be back in court to hear the arguments. There's a hearing. They'll hear the arguments, and then we'll see what happens. The good news is, I see this real time in the sense that I track the daily treasury statement, and my subscribers get that information. I send out emails all day long, not to mention the weekly report. But I see this in the daily treasury statement, so I know exactly what is happening with the fiscal flows. And that's the key, because like I always say to you guys, that is the first derivative of growth, of GDP, of economic activity. So I'm not so worried about the quality. Well, I am actually, by quality, I mean, what programs are being cut off, what loans, what grants, what aid is being cut off. That will have effects on particular sectors. But for the overall economy, if I'm going to use now again the swimming pool analogy, it's draining some water out of the pool, or at the very least, it's slowing down the rate of water flowing into the pool. Okay? So the pool's not going to rise, the water level's not going to rise as fast. But again, right now, that's been blocked by a federal judge. We are coming into, and I told you, Guys, we're down tax drains in the month of January. And I said this was going to happen. I said exactly it was going to happen. What day? January 15th. And it was going to, continue till about the beginning of February. All right. We're down 78 billion net drain because we had an 85 billion net government transfer on by January 9th, government had transferred 85 billion. All right. And we're down to like 7 billion now. So 78 billion was taken back. All right. That's how you pay back. You want to know, people say, we got to pay. How are we going to pay it back? Like when they talk about the so-called national debt, they take the money away. That doesn't help anybody in the non-government anywhere in here or the rest of the world. That's how if you're talking about paying it back, which is stupid anyway, because it's already been paid. But if you want to eliminate that, they got to take back whatever the 36 trillion. They got to literally tax that away into oblivion, into zero. I mean, can you imagine that? Can you literally imagine that? The whole entire global economy, financial system, $36 trillion removed, taxed away, zero, into a black hole of oblivion. And they're all running around saying we got to do that. Now, they don't understand that's exactly what has to happen for that 36 trillion to go away. That part they don't understand. Not that it's hard. It's not hard or difficult to understand, but nobody, and I was going to say nobody explained it, but that's wrong. It's been explained. But they're just so deep into this fucking mythology that they have. This crazy debt phobia mania that they have, that they don't want to listen to that shit. To them, it's just like the time bomb. And again, I'm 60, I'm going to be 68. I got in this business in 1979. All right. I remember when Reagan, and they were talking about the debt is 800 billion. How are we going to handle this? Now it's 36 trillion. That's almost like 50 times. And the only reason, and interest rates were 21% with Reagan. Now they're 4.5%? And that's only because the Fed is keeping it there. But that so-called debt went up 50-fold. I mean, come on, man. Come on. So I see the flows every single day. I track it. I got the numbers. Every little, billion here, a billion there. I see. I graph it, everything. I see the way it's going. So I'll know. And I'll also know because the daily treasury statement, all those expenditures are itemized. There's line item entries on all those expenditures, so you can see. There's also line item entries on all the deposits, all the money that the government's taken back. Take it back, right? So I'll see it. And if I start to see, because, we're in a very evident uptrend in terms of spending year over year, clearly, I've been saying this the whole entire time. If that thing turns and starts to dip, then that's it. Then that's not a stock market correction. That will be the beginning of a bear market that stays that way until conditions change. All right. Just like the stock market's been going up for all these years because monetary conditions. And when I say monetary conditions, don't think I'm talking about what these goofballs at the Federal Reserve do with their monetary operations. That's not monetary conditions. That's just changing the composition of of financial assets in the economy. It's exchanging one thing for another thing. When I talk about monetary conditions, I'm talking about fiscal, what is the net addition to the economy? What is the net drain from the economy. That's monetary conditions, okay? Not with all these idiots saying, oh, the Fed is doing quantitative easing. They're pumping. They're pumping. They're pumping. They're juicing. They're pumping. They're pumping. They're juicing. It's not pumping, juicing. All right? Just like quantitative easing. They're draining. They're taking away the punch bowl. Punch bowl. Take away the punch bowl. No, that's all ridiculous nonsense. When I talk about monetary conditions, that's the real thing. Okay? It's not this stupid shit that they don't understand, that it's simply a change in the composition of financial assets. You got more reserves, you got less government securities. Okay? That's quantitative easing. Quantitative tightening, you got more government securities, you got less reserves. Quantity of each equal, just a different mixture. A different mixture. That's all. So, I watch that. I follow that. I see that every single day. That's basically real time. If you don't have my stuff, or if you're not doing that, you're seeing things like a month ago from some government data that's released. Sometimes it's a survey even. We don't even know if the number is right or not. I see the exact hard numbers. All right? And it's not because I have some secret connection somewhere. It's out there. It's public information. It's the daily treasury statement every day. People don't want to look at it. Even these highfalutin economists. And I'll even mention, not by name, but I'll say some of the top MMT academic economists, they don't even look at this shit. How do I know? Because I've interacted with them before and they don't even know about it. Okay? So there you go. I made a whole entire, this is what I do, is the analysis of that data. And again, that's the first derivative of all economic activity. Anyway, that's it for today, folks. Please like and subscribe. If you've done that already, thank you very much. And don't forget, go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com. Sign up for a 30-day free trial to MMT Trader. See you tomorrow. Bye.